No one is slowing down in this hiring race for the right talent. That's why Principal wants to help you stay competitive by providing a comprehensive benefits package tailored to your company's and your team's needs. Because having the right benefits may help you reward and retain your team so they feel valued, motivated, and ready for the future. And that makes all the difference for your business. From large corporations to small and mid-sized businesses, Principal has the retirement and group benefits plans customized for your goals. Your company's future depends on its people. Give them the tools they need to succeed. Talk to your financial professional today about the right benefit plans from Principal. Principal Life Insurance Company, Des Moines, Iowa. For important information about our products, visit principal.com/disclosures.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Out and about over the weekend. Guess what I found out?
What'd you find out?
Men's Room Original Ale is available in bottles. Yes! I had a few on tap. Then I jump on Twitter. I'm like, holy hell, it's in grocery stores. Ryan Castle found something up at the old Fred Meyer there in Greenwood, as a matter of fact.
Yes, he did. He said, he admitted to me this morning. He goes, man, I'm in the beer aisle at that Fred Meyer, Greenwood. What did he say, like 4 times a week? Yep. So he's like, I know I wasn't there 2 days previous. And there was. And he sent us a picture. It looks good, man. Yep. I mean, the packaging, the whole thing.
Look, when I went into the dock in Fremont to watch a little NFL football because they have the NFL package, I was like, hey, do you guys have Men's Room Original Ale? She's like, we just got it on tap. We've had it for a couple weeks. I was like, sweet. And she's like, look, it's not Men's Room Red. She's like, but I like it
She's
better.
Explaining it to you.
Yeah, and I said, okay.
Oh, nice.
I said, I'll give it a try. You know what I mean? So I had 3 or 4 of them.
This is good.
It is fantastic.
Thank you.
And a portion of proceeds, of course, benefit our friends at the 3 local Fisher houses. If it's not on tap at your favorite local bar, ask the manager. Say, hey, man, I'll give this Men's Room Original Red a try. I think you'll really enjoy it. And if you can, man, it's out there in bottles as we speak. So pick up a 6-pack at your favorite beverage store, grocery store, whatever retailer carries it. If they don't carry it, go mom and pop, say, hey, man, get some Men's Room Original Ale in here. I'll buy it.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, it's just that easy. All the details in the beer on and everything else at KISW.com. So it's definitely some exciting news over the weekend. All right, in the meantime, it is our random question. Question 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, David. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola. David, welcome to the program. And the random question.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Let's see here. All right. Okay. What would you say is the weird or odd thing, or maybe it's just circumstantial, that has happened to you more than once? Something that has happened to you more than once. I have broken or sprained my left ankle no less than 7 times. My right, 4.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Jesus, man.
A combination of both on each side.
Okay.
But it just seemed to always happen there. It was like, there was a streak where I didn't even go a year without having crutches. You know, it was just annoying as hell. And it wasn't like sometimes it was sports related, but sometimes I would just walk down the street, hit a rock the wrong way, and completely roll my ankle over. So it was never.
See, that's the one that pisses you. At least in a sport, you go like, oh, I was playing a sport. But you're just walking down the street and tripping and injuring yourself. That sucks.
So what has happened to you more than once?
Well, unfortunately, it's I would have to say head injury. Basically, falling, getting a concussion. I probably had it in my lifetime, at least since I've been retired from the military. 4 or 5 concussions in the last 6-7 years.
Wow!
Usually one good fall a year. Yeah.
And it's just you falling over, or what?
Well, I wear braces, so when I'm not wearing them, I'm very unstable, so to speak.
Okay,
and
that's
usually
fair.
it's at home, not when I'm out and about. I could be taking my garbage out. I could be grabbing the mail, and if my leg goes out, I'm going down.
Now,
and normally I break my fall with my head more than anything.
No, I was going to say, is it,
I don't know if that's good.
Is it more? It sounds to me like you're
good.
It sounds to me like you're falling backward. So it sounds like you're hitting the back of your head instead of the front most of the time.
I've actually hit the side of my head, my temple. I've broken my plate of my implants hitting the side of my face so hard on the crown. So
and what happens? Do you wake up and wonder how long you're out, or are you still conscious but obviously semi not, based on the fact that you have a concussion?
It's been both ways. I've actually, how long have I been out? And it's like, oh, wow, I'm surprised I'm not knocked out. So it's happened both ways. More times I don't get knocked out, but I've certainly rattled my head one too many times, and that's not even talking about military. That's just strictly post-military.
Now let me ask you: do you find yourself like? I can walk into a room and go, "Why in the hell did I come in here?" Mm-hmm. I haven't had 8 concussions, but does that thing when that happens to you, does that kind of trigger that panic? You know what I mean? Like, oh man,
I got a brain injury.
Like I can't remember why I'm in here. Because I mean, it's no different than anybody else, but you would think it. I mean, it'd be heavier on you just based on what you know about your head.
Right. And I will tell you this. You know, I'm an absolute advocate of TBI survivors, because most of the time when you have a major head injury like that, or a traumatic brain injury, you don't realize that you have it, because your new life doesn't consist of everything that you remember before that. And I've been very blessed and fortunate that I can kind of walk on both sides of the fence and help people understand what it's like to go through life with a brain injury and forgetting your daughter's name 3 minutes later after you started talking to her. But at the same time, you obviously know that she's your daughter.
Sure.
But random things will just disappear out of your memory, or you'll think that you've gone through something and obviously haven't. It's just part of what you get to live with for the rest. Well, so I cup half full all the time.
Let me ask you this: what is the main thing? Is it Parkinson's? What is the thing with multiple concussions that seems to be commonplace with people?
Oh, right.
There's something down the road, and I can't remember what that is. Like, it's not Lou Gehrig's or something like that, but it's, I thought it was Parkinson's.
No, I'm pretty sure it is ALS.
Is it ALS?
Yeah.
It might be.
It is.
Right, because right. And there's that whole thing about Lou Gehrig getting beamed in the head a bunch of times and this and that.
All right.
Right. Okay. Or what's the other one? CT. Yeah.
Punch drunk from boxing. That happens a lot. You know, you're just rattled too much.
Okay.
The last one I got, as I say, it was a bus that you could stand up in. Mm-hmm. And it just you're just driving down a highway, and I was just walking back from the back of the bus and just fell over, and I was like, oh man, that hurt bad. My head's not going to recover.
Why do you have to wear braces? What happened? That was necessary.
So in 2008, I was over in Iraq, and just before we actually got into Iraq, we were in Kuwait, getting ready to fly in, and I busted my ankle so bad that it basically just had floating pieces of bone, and it should have been taken care of, but I wound up spending my entire tour performing with a broken ankle. Keeping the boot was basically keeping it together.
I can't believe. Seems like that would be the ideal thing that I would think that you would wear that would prevent that type of an injury. Just like high tops
the boot in the first part, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, but when you're at home, I mean, you either are barefoot or you wear your. Yeah. I mean, I don't put my braces on unless I step outside the door. Really.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it happens. It usually happens at home, of all places.
Yeah.
When I fall.
Well, that's probably a good thing. I mean, all things considered. If I'm going to take a bad spill, I hope I'm at home.
This is a much...
and a lot of accidents happen at home.
Much worse scenario here on what has happened to you more than once. A father of 2 was killed while swimming in Australia on Saturday morning when he was attacked by a shark. He was swimming off the coast of Western Australia. Paul Millichip, 57 years old. He moved there from London and is believed to have been attacked by a 14-foot-long great white shark. Millichip was a strong swimmer, an Ironman athlete who was a regular at the beach.
But it's a shark.
He was there with his 2 adult children as well as his wife, who was in the changing rooms when the attack took place, so she didn't see it. She did say that he died what he enjoyed doing the most.
Miles had good commentary on that. It's like, I don't think he enjoyed being eaten by sharks.
He's like,
I think what they need to say is he was doing what he enjoyed, and then that was interrupted.
Oh, yeah. I tape a couple ribeyes to my body, man, and go swimming, because it's my favorite thing. The beach was closed after the attack, but reopened on Monday. Authorities tell ABC 4 teenage boys, they were in a dinghy, near where he was swimming. They are heroes for their reaction to witnessing the attack. Now, they could not have saved him.
How are they heroes? I mean, I'm not cutting them down.
They got every other swimmer out of the water. Apparently, it was a very populated beach, and no one else really saw what was happening. I can say that the actions of the witnesses were heroic and very brave for getting everyone else out of the water and notifying everyone of what was happening. You have to understand what happened to Paul Millichip. He was attacked by a 14-foot great white shark.
That's bad.
Onlookers saw as he was attacked by a 14-foot-long great white shark. But then in the midst of this, he was also attacked by a 12-foot tiger shark.
Think about that. Doing what he's right.
Now, last week we had the story.
This is unbelievable.
Of the fishermen who were out in a dinghy someplace, and they were on a river or a lake, okay? And they were attacked by a swarm of bees, killer bees or something like that.
All right.
So the three men, they jump into the lake to avoid being attacked by the bees.
Sounds convenient, right?
Where they started swimming to shore, then the guy behind, the slow swimmer, he got eaten by a school of piranhas.
Yeah.
They turned around to see blood and bubbles, apparently, according to...
Blood and bubbles. So here's my question, all right? So, Ted, you get to pick your method of death. Now, we can drop you in the ocean, and you'll be attacked by both a tiger shark and a great white shark. Presumably, that would happen fairly quickly. Or we can swarm you with bees, and the only way out of it is to jump in a river full of piranha that are going to eat you.
I think I'm taking the sharks.
I think I am too, man.
Just seems like it'd be quicker.
Yeah, because their mouths are bigger, right? They can rip me apart faster. That is
piranha bite has to be painful, and there's just a bunch.
Oh, there's 100 of them. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I mean, it's just all over you. There's not one spot. Like shark bites you on the leg, you feel the sting, probably the pierce. Everyone says
I don't
it feels
know
like
sting.
You get hit by a truck. I mean, obviously, you know it's not good. But these things basically ate him alive from head to toe.
Right. And it's a slow eat, man.
And when they came back to get him, it was just basically what was left of skeletal remains. So,
Jesus.
Yeah. Good time.
Like, get away from the bees. Jump in the water. Get out of the water. Get back to the bees.
Where was this river?
It was in South America.
It's gotta be the
Amazon,
I know,
right?
Mike, you've got it for Man versus Beast.
I do
right?
indeed.
Okay, yes. I can't remember where it was. All I know is like, why would you want to go fishing in there? Because even if you catch a fish and you reel the thing in, the piranhas are going to eat it.
If they decide to, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if they see anything that's struggling in the water, I mean, they're going to go after the damn thing.
There's nothing about the Amazon that I want to experience. Like, I'm sure it would be a fantastic thing, right? Because it's the only place that's like it, but everything there seems dangerous. Like, well, there's jaguars out in the jungle, there's piranha in the water, and obviously bees.
I don't believe you can go in the water there. I mean,
like,
even if you're a river deep into the Amazon,
Southern Brazil,
there's going to be big-ass snakes in the water. There's going to be all these weird things in the water. And the thing that'll kill you is some kind of, like, I don't know, bacteria thing in the water.
Yeah, parasite.
You don't even really know that you got it. It climbs up in your butt and kills you.
Well, it might depend on what part of the river you're in. I mean, it's a big river.
Oh, okay. Would you jump in? Now, look.
Depends on what part I'm in.
But how do you know? You're going to take my word for it. Ted, run a boat.
No, I'm not taking your word for it. You don't know.
We don't know.
Right. You ask somebody that's been there.
What I'm saying is every part of the river, I think, has a different element of danger, like anywhere else. You know what I'm saying as far as...
But there's generations of people that have lived by this river and swim in it all the time.
Do they swim in it all the time? It's one thing to live by the river. It's another thing to swim in it all. Like, there's nomads that live out in the African bush. But it doesn't mean, like, they go running up to lions. You know what I mean? Like, if I know it's piranha in the water, like, oh, no, we get our fish from here. It's our food. It's our transportation. There's no chance I'm swimming in there. Eddie went swimming in there. Eddie never came back.
I'm not sure I'm ever getting in the ocean again. I've just read too many stories in the last 3 or 4 years. I was always skeptical. The worst is if you ever with somebody who wants to do that night swim into the ocean.
No.
Just because of the beginning of Jaws, that will freak you out faster than anything.
It's terrifying.
Else. Yes! Absolutely terrifying.
Well, also just being in waves at nighttime is terrifying.
I don't like the idea, man. It's just not something I'm going to do.
You're going to swim in the ocean again, though. It's too much fun.
But are you swimming in the ocean or are you splashing in the ocean? Right? Because
half the time you walk out in 4 feet of water, people wade out and they get hit.
I know. But most people, rarely do I see people swimming in the ocean. Everyone's kind of splashing. Most people stay close to the shore. And I know a shark can get you in whatever water, but I feel like deep down it's everyone's safety measure. Like, I can hightail it back to the beach. It's not so deep that I can't lift up my legs and run. Because I feel like I can run.
I mean, it's just a matter of getting out past the break.
All right, how about this?
I mean, I just did it in June because I was like, we got a pool. We don't have to go to the ocean. And as soon as we walked over to the ocean, I was like, this is awesome. I love swimming in waves.
All right, so we go to Australia, western coast of Australia. And you getting in that ocean.
Perth.
That's where that guy was attacked.
No.
Yeah.
That's one of the most dangerous places, oceans in the world.
Yeah,
Specifically over by Perth.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going in anywhere.
Nah.
I mean, look, I thought it would be safe to swim in the harbor in Sydney, and then I read a thing that was like, oh, no, there's sharks in that harbor right by the Opera House.
Everywhere.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
But again, it's hard to fight the urge. Like, if you're on a beautiful beach, like, I don't know, I'll just go in for a minute. They won't get me.
I mean, if it's Australia, man, maybe up to my knees. But the problem with Australia, even if it's not a shark, they got the blue ring octopus. They got goddamn saltwater crocs that wander down the beach. Everything there wants to kill you, man. Hello, Hop Singh. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, mi puta.
Hola.
I'm saying welcome to the program. Random question. How about this one? Intentional or not, what did you set on fire?
My shoe.
Okay. On purpose?
No, there was a little narcotics involved, and there was a bug on my shoelace, and it was pissing me off. So I actually had a magnifying glass, and I dispatched the bug. But little did I know that a shoelace is like a fuse, so it will smolder forever. So like 5 hours later, my shoe's on fire because I didn't know that my shoelace had been smoldering for that long.
Were you still wearing it?
Oh, yeah.
Damn. What kind of narcotics were you on?
Just some pot.
All right.
Now, how quick did your shoe go up? Once the lace finally ignited the shoe, was it instant or what?
No, it was a slow burn, and I just kept smelling something. And I'm like, something's burning. And finally, 5 or 6 hours later, some guy's like, dude, your shoe's smoldering. And I'm like, what? And I look down, and sure enough, there's just this slow burn on my shoe, and my foot hurt because it was just
it's on fire.
To burn me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I stomped it out. But, and by the way, my girlfriend, she tried to help, and she stomped it out too, but she ended up putting her 300 pounds right on my foot, so it hurt like hell.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, but she's the right person to stomp out fire.
Yeah, to get it done.
Yeah,
Reason we asked, intentional or not, what did you set on fire? An upstate New York man was in grave condition in a hospital after he burst into flames after police used a taser to subdue him. In Albany, 29-year-old man walked into the police department last week and got into a confrontation with officers. Chief Dave Darling confirmed to the newspaper that officers deployed a taser to subdue him, but he had just doused himself with hand sanitizer. And then the man burst into flames. He said officers were familiar with the man from previous encounters. I think they were afraid he was going to hurt himself, and that's why they started to tase him. There are still details that we're trying to develop. Man was taken to the Westchester Medical Center's Trauma and Burn Center, where he was in grave condition. Police chief described the situation as horrible, said it was under investigation. Attorney for the man's family declined to discuss details, but said he had asked the police to preserve all recordings and written materials related to the encounter. Darling said his officers are not equipped with body cameras, but there are video cameras at the police station. Look,
I don't think I want to watch that. If I'm like on a jury or something, like, I'll take your word for it.
But you know one thing to be a fact. You know that if he came into a police station and he started a confrontation with officers and everything else, in their attempt to subdue him, it's not unusual to use a taser.
Right.
What is unusual is for your entire body to be covered in hand sanitizer.
Well, I think we can piece together what's going on in his head, right?
He's insane.
Yeah, exactly. So what I mean is that...
And it also clearly doesn't have any cuts on his body.
All they were trying to do was, just subdue the guy.
But I wouldn't think about it either. In retrospect, when you read the story, it seems obvious, right? But at the time, if I'm one of these cops, and here comes Crazy Larry again, like you said, I'm already familiar with him, and he specifically came to the station just to antagonize us. Crazy covered himself in hand sanitizer, tase him. Like, oh, Jesus, sorry, Larry.
God, that's another level of crazy.
It really
Go
is.
to the police station to antagonize them.
More of the random question coming up, 206-421-RON.
No one is slowing down in this hiring race for the right talent. That's why Principal wants to help you stay competitive by providing a comprehensive benefits package tailored to your company's and your team's needs. Because having the right benefits may help you reward and retain your team so they feel valued, motivated, and ready for the future. And that makes all the difference for your business. From large corporations to small and mid-sized businesses, Principal has the retirement and group benefits plans customized for your goals. Your company's future depends on its people. Give them the tools they need to succeed. Talk to your financial professional today about the right benefit plans from Principal. Principal Life Insurance Company, Des Moines, Iowa. For important information about our products, visit principal.com/disclosures.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
A dad in Lowe's feels just like being a kid again. This Father's Day, find prices to treat him to the gifts he craves. Like $60 savings on your choice of a DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill or impact driver kit. Was $159, now $99. Or an Ego 615 CFM blower, everyday low price of $199. There's nothing sweeter than Father's Day at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, about 6/9 through 6/15.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
The men's room is in progress.
As we celebrate 50 years of KISW, today marks the 50th anniversary of Led Zeppelin 4. Although, Steve, when the album came out, it wasn't necessarily known as Led Zeppelin 4. It was just Led Zeppelin. It really didn't have a title. Some called it the Rune album back in the day.
The latest Zeppelin album.
Some called it Zoso.
That is correct.
But either way, like, if you were a hardcore Zeppelin fan, this is where you started. I had friends, and they weren't the biggest Zeppelin fans in the world, but they all had Zeppelin 4. That was one that every single person
guaranteed,
had. Especially if you went to a Columbia, whatever the hell that was.
Columbia Record
Tape Club or whatever it was. Yeah. Everybody had Zeppelin 4. That was one of the 10 freebies that you checked off before you had to buy your additional 6 or 7 to fulfill your deal.
Did you ever pay off that deal?
Hell no.
I never. I don't know how they stayed in business. Everyone I knew, hey, tape a penny to this thing, which you would. We'll send you 13 records or cassettes, which they did. And then you're supposed to be on like some monthly subscription thing. It never happened.
What is the quintessential tune off Zeppelin 4? Is it rock and roll? Is it Black Dog? Is it Stairway to Heaven? I mean, what would
Stairway's got to be.
It's got to be Stairway,
right? I mean, it's your number one rock song of all time every freaking year.
But we will continue to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of Led Zeppelin 4, coming up with a lovely Taryn Daly. All right, in the meantime, it is our random question. Question 206-421-RON.
Random.
Hello, Steven. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Steven.
Hello, Steven.
There he is. Speak, Steven. Steven. Steven.
Steven, are you listening to the radio? You don't want to listen to the radio. You want to listen to us.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, Jackson.
Hola. Welcome to the show, sir. And the random question. I think we can do this one. You got this. What was your most embarrassing fart? Or who did you fart in front of?
Oh, man. Let's see here. I had a elementary school performance, and, it was my part to talk, all that, and I just rip a big one. Everyone just looks right at me.
So you were actually up on stage?
Oh, yeah, like the entire, what was it, second grade class, just everyone right up the front, family, friends, just rip one. Yeah, it was quite excellent.
Nice. See, farts didn't really bother me until I started to like girls. You know what I mean? Then it was.
Oh, yeah, that's when things change.
Because then you get, you want to be embarrassed and, like, oh, he's Mr. Farty Pants over there, whatever the deal is. But either way. All right, let's see here.
Farts go back and forth, though, when you're a kid. They're funny, but it's also people make fun of the kid that farted.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you have to announce that you're going to fart, then no one makes fun of you. But if you just fart and people single you out as the person, then, it's mortifying.
Yeah.
What is the name of the environmental conference that's going on right now? Is it like COP26
or
something like that? All right, that's going on. And Joe Biden, he, as they say, produced some of his own emissions at the summit by farting audibly while chatting with the Duchess of Cornwall. Camellia Parker Bowles.
He's already my shot of the day, just for this alone.
Is said to have been so taken aback by the incident that she will not stop talking about it. Citing an informed source, Biden and Camellia were seen making small talk alongside Ford Secretary Liz Truss during a reception on Monday. The source said It was long and loud and impossible to ignore. Camilla hasn't stopped talking about it, apparently. The White House refused to comment, but either way.
I think my worst fart, man, and
it's who you're farting in front of.
Well, no one knew it was me. I was on a bus in Baltimore. There's maybe 15 people on this bus. And we're kind of going down a long stretch. This bus is getting up to like 40 miles an hour, all right? So I'm sitting in the very back, and I fart. And I swear it's just a little... And I cannot explain why this particular fart smelled so bad. But it smelled real bad. But I'm like, well, hopefully no one else noticed. But because I'm sitting in the back of the bus, I can see everyone else, all right? The woman, like 3 rows in front of me, she just cracks her window. And I realize, okay, the fart has hit her. There's 2, like, 15-year-old boys sitting on the other side of the bus. They figure into the story to work to my advantage. They start laughing about it because it smelled that bad, but they open their window, and you could slowly mark the progress of this fart because it goes all the way to the front of the bus to the point I've never had this experience before. Again, we're going like 40 miles an hour. The bus driver, he keeps driving, but he opens the door. So we are driving down the road with an open door to the bus to get the stink out. So everyone's starting to look at each other, and this is not a fart you want to cop to. I mean, it was bad. But because these 2 kids kept laughing about it, everyone assumed it was them. They finally ring the bell. They get off the bus. And when they got off the bus, man, the anger that everyone had of them, like, nasty-ass mother effers, get us stupid-ass kids. And I'm like, yeah, sneaking up the bus like that. That's ridiculous, man.
Random.
Hello, Jacob. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hello, Jacob.
Hola. You there?
Hola.
Thank God.
What's going on?
Well, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, Jacob, since we're talking about farting, let's go to the other side. When did you really have to go to the bathroom at an inconvenient time?
Let's see. Probably. Wow, that's actually a good question.
Thank you. I wrote it earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. I figured you took some time on this one.
I really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd probably be when I got stuck on a ski lift for way too long, waiting on whoever at the top trying to get off. And
so
there was really no option of trying to relieve yourself there.
Not only that, but you've got to go all the way back down. I mean, unless you're going to a lodge, unless you're up on a multi-tiered, ski lift, you pretty well got to race down.
To the top, you can find a nook and do your business. You don't have to go all the way down, but just being stuck up on the ski lift,
See, I totally disagree with you. It's hard enough to use the bathroom in the lodge with all that crap on. I cannot imagine taking your boots out of your skis and your bindings and then going through 4 layers of pants to get it down.
The thing I don't get is those ski resorts. It's almost like a locker room. It's like almost everybody's showering. It's just I don't know. It just gets way too wet in there.
Yeah, but you're right, man. If you're up on the mountain and you got to go, that's not good.
No, it's not.
No. You're right, though, man. Having to drop a deuce when you're in all that gear is a pain.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
The reason we asked, when did you really have to go? As they say, have you ever been caught out and had to use a bathroom in a very urgent way? Well, a woman in New York named Deirdre Keene has run 34 marathons in her life, but she just shared the story of the most memorable one. Back in 2014, she signed up for the Philadelphia Marathon. It was the 10th or maybe 11th one she'd done, and she thought it started at 7:30, but the actual start time was at 7 a.m. Now, she was in line for the bathroom early when she realized the race was starting at that point, so she didn't get to go. But once she started running, she suddenly had to go, very, very badly. She was having some digestive issues, so she stopped at the first porta potty she saw. Luckily, there was one about a mile into the race, at the very beginning. She came out feeling, quote, 5 pounds lighter. So she kept running, but the issues continued. Over the next 16 miles, she stopped at 9 different porta potties. She said her strategy at that point was simple. Just sprint as fast as she could from one porta potty to another. So instead of running, she'd take a crap, sprint. Mile later, take a crap, sprint.
How did that do for a time?
Here's the greatest part. Things finally settled down around the 17-mile mark. So she finished the race from that point on without going to the bathroom.
All right.
Because of all that sprinting, Her final time was a new personal best that she still to this day has not beaten.
Wow.
Even with the time it took to poop.
Yes.
I think when you have to go that bad, those poops don't take long to
10
achieve.
different stops at 10 different porta potties. She finished in 3 hours and 38 minutes and spent the next 2 years trying to beat that time. It is still one of her fastest times. She has beaten it since, but just barely. But that's amazing.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
That is a very fast marathon, by the way. 3 hours and...
Do you remember one of the worst times you had to use the bathroom?
It was at a half marathon.
I was going to say, for me, it was... I can't remember who he's fighting, but Mayweather's fighting somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been Cotto. I mean, it was years ago. But I'm visiting my buddy in San Francisco, and we go to this specific sports bar. I'll just say it was a very kind of fight crowd, if you will, right?
All right.
So not, you know what I mean? Like, people are real fired up. They obviously have fans. Like, it. Long story long, there is a one bathroom thing for dudes, right? Now, we had gone out, like, eating dinner and stuff. This is like the second day of a 3-day trip. My stomach is in knots. So I time it out. Like, nobody wants to use the bathroom during an actual round. Bless you, Mike. So I'm like, all right, you know what? When this round starts, I'll run back to that bathroom and use it. I go back there. I'm in there for 2 rounds. I come out.
Oh, man.
There is a massive line, and it reeks. People are just shooting darts at me. I mean, or daggers to their eyes and everything. And then it's like there's no way to hide. I have to walk by this line of people waiting to use the bathroom. And the rest of the night, like every once in a while, I just kind of turn around and see 2 dudes staring at me like...
I mean, you can't get mad at someone like, look, man.
I know.
Told you we were at, all of us were there, man.
Wait, I wasn't trying. Like, I was like, dude, I just had to go to the bathroom.
Just based on what happened, you were in there for so long and it stank so bad. It's like, dude was hurting, man. Don't shoot daggers.
There was a woman at, I've said this before, we were at Hard Rock Cafe, and they have 3 different bathrooms, right? And they're all unisex, but no problem. But there's a line, and there's a chick in front of me. She's maybe 5 or 6 people in front of me. I always remember she's wearing all red. The only reason I remember her is because of the stink she left behind. But she's wearing all red. But I knew I didn't want to follow her in the bathroom because everybody had to go to the bathroom. But she's the only one whose hand is constantly on her stomach, right? And that's a telltale sign. We all understand what's going on in there. So the door opens, she pops in. And I'm counting down, watching the different doors open, and I'm like, please, I just don't want to follow her. Well, as luck would have it, of course, I'm going to follow her into the bathroom. Remember, she opens the door kind of slow. She already looks sad, and we make eye contact. But as we make eye, because now I'm standing basically in the doorway. As we make eye contact, the stink of what she has just done is almost overwhelming. But I got to go, man. Like, I got to pee so bad, there's no way. So I'm in there, I don't know, 35, 45 seconds. It smelled so bad. So I'm now walking out of the bathroom, and I'm letting other people know that was not me. But as I'm walking back to our table in the front, where she was sitting was in the back, we made eye contact again. Oh, no. And just the look on her face, she was mortified. I'd say probably like you. Because I'm the only person that knows what she just did in there. And it's not like I'm going to announce it, but when we looked at each other again, I think my face just said, like, I am sorry I followed you in there, and I'm sorry for what's going on inside of you.
Ted, was it worse than the one that you led in the guy's house in New Jersey when you were doing sales door to door?
Brick?
Oh, wait.
Yeah. That's a tough call. He was just as mad, but that was just one guy.
Right. So it wasn't, and you could walk away.
But you did it in his home.
You didn't have to stay there.
And he didn't know you.
And I left. Right. This was like, God damn it, right? And this is a championship fight. So you're talking 12 rounds or 15 rounds. Like, I think I dropped that deuce like round 2 or 3. And it was bad.
Right.
Like, I think that night I was just like, look, I'm going to go back to the hotel.
It was that
just,
bad.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. You know, your stomach just isn't agreeing. And it's like, you go to the bathroom once, and then, like, you're like, relief. And then, like, a half hour later, you start sweating again. It's like
it's not over.
It's not over.
Oh, I had I think it was about 2 weeks ago. My daughter comes running down the stairs like, Dad, the dog pooped in the house. So we go walking around looking for it. But as I go up the stairs, I'm like, oh, baby, that wasn't the dog. That was me. Like, ew. Like, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, like,
well, at least I flushed the toilet, honey.
I did flush the toilet, but the stink was still there. But yeah, both the kids thought that the dog had pooped on the carpet. Yeah, that's a good feeling. Hello, Steven. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Steven, welcome back to the program. The random question. Let's see what we got here for you. All right, what relative would you say do you not get along the best with out of the people in your family? Just for whatever reason.
My sister.
Oh.
Sister.
Right. Okay. And why is that?
Pretty simple.
not being political and all that, but she's definitely a wealthy elitist in California who has no concept of reality. So we just don't mesh.
Okay. Has it always been that way, or has it been later in adulthood?
I would say later in adulthood when I just realized she was completely crazy.
Crazy in a way, did she marry into money, I guess?
Yes. Sadly, so she has money as well. She was renovating houses. Long story short, her first husband passed away due to an epileptic episode in the ocean, and he drowned.
Wow.
She met her new husband in a grief counseling because his wife had committed suicide. Oh, my. And they've been together for like 15 years. They're like two peas in a pod. They're amazing together.
Does she come up and visit? Do you ever invite her up here?
Yes, so she will always, she makes it a day trip if she comes to visit. She'll just simply pop in for a few hours and then go on her way to doing whatever else for her vacation.
All right. So will you be seeing her, now that the holidays are rapidly approaching, will you be seeing her?
No.
Okay.
She's doing her own thing.
All right. Now, when you were growing up, was it copacetic then, or is this something, did you guys get along when you lived together growing up?
Best friends. Literally, before, I don't really know what happened, but she would be the sister who's like, oh, brother, it's beer 30. Yes, it is. Let's do this. And things have changed.
So now she won't
mention what she does, but I don't want to say publicly what she does.
Oh, you don't need to.
Just to.
Okay, well, that sucks, man. You know what I mean? Especially if you grew up close to someone. And then.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Reason we asked, what relative do you not get along with? A man in Italy. He was missing for 24 years. 24 years. He reappeared last week. His name is Ivo Ramazar. He's 42. He originally vanished in 1997. Now, there aren't too many details on what happened then or in the 24 years since. So, what did he do when he reappeared? Well, Ivo, he allegedly attacked his brother Martin while he was sleeping. Ivo stabbed him several times in the chest, then stopped and walked into the kitchen. That's where the police found him. Apparently, Ivo had been thinking about it for a while, like 24 years, because he had staked out his brother's home and was even sleeping in a tent in the woods nearby.
Jesus.
Ivo reportedly said, I felt a huge rage inside toward my brother, but I didn't want to kill him. I could have finished him off. Martin is in rough shape, by the way, but he did survive. Martin's lawyer thinks that Ivo was angry about the terms of their inheritance from their father, and he's been carrying a grudge ever since.
Good Lord, man.
And we got one more. As they say, if someone hands me free chicken wings, I don't ask questions, I just eat. But some of us are pickier than others. 30-year-old guy near Salt Lake City got angry at his dad last month after he bought chicken wings for dinner, but didn't buy the kind the son wanted.
Oh, come on.
It's not clear what flavor or variety the son was expecting, but they started arguing, and the son then grabbed a gun. He fired a shot at his dad's head, but missed. The dad ducked, so the bullet went through a wall and into the neighbor's apartment, and ended up lodged in the person's dishwasher. They ended up wrestling over the gun, and the son fired 2 more shots into the ceiling, but luckily, they got lodged in another neighbor's floor and did not hit anyone. Son is facing charges for attempted murder. Another poultry-related crime, by the way, 20-year-old woman in central Pennsylvania facing charges after she got into an argument with another woman at Walmart, grabbed a package of cold chicken, and nailed her in the back of the head with it.
Yeah, I saw that one
It's
today.
not clear if it was a frozen or just refrigerated. Is there a wing out there that anybody hates that much, where you would think to yourself, you know what I mean, I'm going to grab a gun and shoot someone because they bought the wrong one?
I mean, I could be upset if you bought wings that suck, but I don't think I'd shoot somebody.
You don't think you would?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's 6 wings that are 5 different flavors in any given restaurant. I mean, none of them are that bad. You know,
there's
saying?
ones you like better.
I mean, I'm not worried about the flavor. I'm worried about how you're cooking them. Are they crispy enough?
That's a big problem.
It is. Because some places, we've got jumbo wings. Yeah, cool, but you need to cook them a little
You got to cook them better. My son just polished off our leftover wings, man.
Ooh.
Ordered them Saturday night, right? Soprano's Pizza. They also have wings. Pretty good wings. So we got 24 wings. All right. So yesterday, I get word that perhaps he is getting these heated up for him to snack on. So I'm like, well, how many are left? Well, there's 8 left. So I see him. I go, hey, man, don't eat all the wings. He's like, well, I've already eaten 7.5 of them. And he holds up the last one, but you can have a bite. I'm like, man, I don't want that nasty-ass wing you've already bitten out. I'm like, you ate all of them?
You never...
Was it a flat or a drummy?
It was a flat. And man, I'm telling you, Sopranos has good wings. Right? I mean, they're not off the chart, but they're good wings. And I was looking forward to eating them watching NFL football.
Now, do you eat the better-looking wing first, or do you save it for the very last? Because you know the type you like, whether it's flat drum or whatever. You save it.
I do. I save the last wing, and I try to time out to save what I deem one of the best bites.
You'll eat the crappiest wing first.
Get it out of the way.
Just work your way
Whatever
down.
one is not as cooked up to my standard,
Right,
let's just get it out of the way to start with.
Okay, see, I'm the opposite. I go in for the best-looking one first because I'm afraid someone else is going to grab it.
I grab it because I'm never sure I'm going to finish all of the wings.
Me too.
And then something like my kid will come along and eat it like, ooh, that's a wing. Like, that does not work for me.
Mm-hmm. Your guess is as good as mine on the way. Our categories today, the most hated Thanksgiving foods and the safest and least safest states. You are listening to The Men's Room.
No one is slowing down in this hiring race for the right talent. That's why Principal wants to help you stay competitive by providing a comprehensive benefits package tailored to your company's and your team's needs. Because having the right benefits may help you reward and retain your team so they feel valued, motivated, and ready for the future. And that makes all the difference for your business. From large corporations to small and mid-sized businesses, Principal has the retirement and group benefits plans customized for your goals. Your company's future depends on its people. Give them the tools they need to succeed. Talk to your financial professional today about the right benefit plans from Principal. Principal Life Insurance Company, Des Moines, Iowa. For important information about our products, visit principal.com/disclosures.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
A dad in Lowe's feels just like being a kid again. This Father's Day, find prices to treat him to the gifts he craves. Like $60 savings on your choice of a DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill or impact driver kit. Was $159, now $99. Or an Ego 615 CFM blower, everyday low price of $199. There's nothing sweeter than Father's Day at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, about 6/9 through 6/15.